Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome everyone to this year's Christmas-ish, and it's a lot less ish than Christmas this year because we're never prepared.
We didn't prepare. Well, I didn't even know it was the Christmas episode because my maths was way off until yesterday.
Well, it's hard to because we're trying to get used to you
With
doing your lates and earlies, yeah. And then I was trying to get guests on, but that fell through. Like a bit of both are really like they never really got back to us, but I also asked them last week, so there wasn't really a lot of time. Yeah. And there's 3 of them. So that sort of fell through. And then Jamie, of course, is going on holiday again. So we're like, we need to do 3 episodes this week because he's not going to be here.
Because of maths, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what's going on? And then I was sitting there last night and I'm like, I think this week is the Christmas episode, like this Friday. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, Jamie, can you do this by tomorrow? And you're like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm like, fucking hell. So we've got 2 games and that's the ish bit of this Christmas. Or was that the Christmas bit of this ish episode?
We could also do some like Christmas based, like we can ask each other what we're doing on Christmas Day, that type of shit.
Well, we will do anyway, won't we? But yeah. I can't give too much away because some of my family listen to this, so I can't say what I bought people or.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got to be vague and mysterious, which I'm not normally.
Elusive.
Yeah, I don't like. It feels like secrets, Jamie. I don't like secrets. Makes me feel uncomfortable. I said when Brian was on, didn't I? I said how much I hated buying gifts because I just want to give it to them to find out if I did a good job or not.
Yeah,
like instant relief.
So you're better than me. You're selfish in that way that you want the gratification to know that you've done well. I'm selfish in the way that I want to know that what I've got them marries up with what they've got me. That's how I give gift. If I've there's been a few years where I've overgave to people and I'm like, next year you're not getting half as much from me.
I'm lucky because Mum coordinates between my brothers. So I don't know what they've got me, but I know the sort of price range they've gone for.
That's good. Yeah.
So I've done the same for them. We normally spend about £30-40 on each other, and then
I think that's all you need to do.
Yeah. Mum and Sabina obviously get more, and Jeff gets less because he's incredibly difficult to fucking buy for. He's like the worst. He's just the worst person to buy a gift for ever. Like 1 year, like he never knows what he wants, never. Yeah. And 1 year he was like, the guy at work's got this radio that you can play outside, like it's waterproof and that. And because when we were working at the airport, we worked outside. And I was like, fucking brilliant. I was like, Makita, I'll splash out a bit. Got him a special edition white one. It was like 80-something pound. Because I don't normally get him something. I was like, he's going to fucking love that. It sat in the box for a month. Until Mum sat and got it out of the box and played it and charged it for him. And then it sat in the house, not used for another 2 months before I used it in the garden. Never took it to work once. I was like, fuck you then. I'm not even going to fucking...
Yeah, some people are just hard to get. My younger brother's hard to buy for because obviously he's been working at my place. So he's been on a good wage since the age of 18. So he's got fucking loads of money because he lives at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so he buys himself whatever he wants all the time. And then when you go to him, what do you want? I don't know. Just think of something to do with my basketball team or something. But his basketball team that he supports, the Orlando Magic, are also one of the shittest teams in the league. So their merch store is not brilliant. And like between all of us, it's hard to get like a decent amount of stuff for him that isn't like shit. Like Shaquille O'Neal was the most famous player that played for them, but that was like years ago. So 1 year, my mum got me a Shaquille O'Neal jersey, but then that's the Shaquille O'Neal stuff maxed out. So then the next year, like trying to figure out what's going on. So this year, I've ended up getting like 3 T-shirts that are Orlando Magic like themed. Like one that's like a retro T-shirt that looks like it's from the 90s, but it's actually all of his current players on it, like a printed tee.
Oh yeah.
and then another one that's like their training top, and then another one that's like just like a striped old school pinstriped black and white one. And I was just like, if he doesn't like them, then what else can I fucking do? Do you know what I mean? At least he's got a top to wear to work. That's what I am thinking about it.
Do they not train in their own gear? Like
Yeah, but there
basketball
will be like t-shirts. They have like there's some of them. There's like t-shirts where they'll go and do like the shoot around because obviously it gets cold in the arenas, doesn't it? So they're only in vests and shit. So they always put a t-shirt on. If they're not playing, they'll put a t-shirt on over the top a lot of the time.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Did you see that Rangers played Celtic yesterday?
I saw they were all running around with fucking Christmas hats on. All the little
Rangers are kicking off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bore everyone. I'm not going to get into details. Obviously, Celtic won. Boo. But like, there's a guy at work that's like proper on Rangers. I mentioned him before, where he goes on like all the holidays and he follows them everywhere. And he's been to like fucking Russia and shit.
Mm.
And like, I keep up with the scores on my phone. So there's certain teams like my hockey team, and there's like Rangers and that come up when they play, and I just watch the updates.
Yeah.
And Sabina was having a go at me because every time I looked at my phone, something was going on. And she's like, I don't care. And I'm like, I'm just trying to make conversation. And she's like, shut up. I'm like, poor Brian at work, he's going to have a fucking heart attack and you don't give a fuck. And she's like walking off. And I saw
But
it.
you're keeping updated, so then you've got conversation pieces with this Brian from work.
Yeah. But then I've got,
right.
over the time of talking to him, he's got me a bit into it. Not to the point of like sitting and watching it.
Yeah.
But getting a little bit excited when they win. So I got in there this morning and I was smiling at him like a creep. And I'm like, how you doing? And he's like, mate, I got home about 8 o'clock last night from the game and I went to bed about 9. He goes, I had a fucking banging headache from all the drama. He's like, I was supposed to enjoy it, but it was more stressful than my divorce. He's like, I was up and down. I was happy. I was sad. There was goals. There weren't goals. I was like, he's like, fucking hell, I didn't know what I was doing.
It's weird because obviously down here you don't get many. There's a few Rangers supporters, but it's mostly because my dad's on it, like a Hibs supporter.
Oh, yeah.
You hear more from Celtic supporters because obviously they're the Catholic side.
Mm-hmm.
So to hear a Ranger supporter getting like as excited is fucking weird to listen to.
Well, like the whole last season, they lost like every game against Celtic.
Yeah, which they would, yeah.
Normally. Yeah, and then this game was like, it was like 1 to Rangers, 2 to Celtic, 1 to Rangers, 1 Celtic, 1 Rangers. Now it's gone to penalties, 5 penalties until someone fucking missed and they finally lost. And I'm just watching it and I'm just like, you can see my face going and Spina's like, what? And I'm like, you don't want to know. She's like, you're right, I don't. And I'm just like, right then.
You should get really into it, like turn up for like full kit wanker, just wearing the entire stuff. And when she comes in, you're watching the game, but you're dressed as one of them, innit?
I think she tolerates the hockey because it's her hometown.
Yeah.
But oh man, I've been trying to follow. So my hometown hockey team is the Fife Flyers.
Yeah,
and they are dog shit, like beyond dog shit. And I'm like, I downloaded this app. It's like a betting app, but it gives you all the scores as they're going on.
Mm.
And that's the easiest way to me to follow Energia. But I was like, oh, 5 Flyers, and I'll do that. Fucking hell, it's the most depressing. They were against Nottingham the other day, 5-0 to Nottingham. And then they played Sunday against some other English team, 1-5 to the other team. I'm just like, I'm so glad if I can go see you guys, I fucking kill myself.
Yeah, Fife wouldn't have the fucking, like, the money behind them, would they? They wouldn't have the financial backing. That's the thing.
A lot of the players are Canadian, like they all come from Canada.
Mm.
But it's rough. The last time I really went and saw him, the manager didn't like aggression. So like he got rid of like all the attackers and that, and it was all just fucking defense. It's absolute garbage.
Like when Sharks, the fit on the, obviously because basketball plays in the middle of the night, yeah. On a few occasions that it's been like an 8 o'clock start, I've said to Charlotte, I'm going to watch the basketball. Where normally I'd stay up, so she's not there to see my frustration throughout the game. And in basketball, obviously, it's a high scoring game, so they score all the time. So I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, fuck. And I'll be like, yeah, go on, go on, go on. And I'm like that all the way through the game. Like, it's constant. And like, if I've had a few beers or something, I drive her fucking mad. I could see it. I could hear her going, all right, just calm down. Like, they're doing all right. They're doing all right. Just calm down. And I'm like, mate, if my team was as bad as like my brother's, I would be in tatters. Luckily, my team is quite a good team, the Celtics, but fuck me, bruv. My brother calls it a super team, which drives me mad. But they're doing okay this season. We won the championships last season, but some of the game I know when we go up against like a shit team that's only won like 3 games in the whole season so far, that's the type of game we will lose. And it always seems they're the type of games that always seem to land when I'm watching. So I'll end up watching it, and then I'm just spending the whole time stressed because they just keep losing the ball and stuff. And it's just like, bro, please. Like, sports is one of them things that can get your blood boiling big time.
Sports is not a relaxing fucking thing. I don't care what people say.
No.
Man, I almost fucking shit myself the other day to get off sports. I was making dinner. I wanted to make something Czech, so I was making bran baraki, which is like potato pancakes. So I bought a bag of potatoes from Marks and Spencer's, and I'm just like cutting the bag open. I'm talking to Sabina, asking her questions because I didn't want her to help me because I want to be able to do Czech food on my own. And I'm just like, what should I do when I do this and that? And then I put my hand in the bag and I'm like, what's that? And I take my hand out and a fucking spider flies out the bag.
Nah, bruv. I'd burn
and
that bag.
It was the size of like a £2 coin.
That bag would be burnt.
I was like, there's a spider. And she's like, what? And I was like, I'm having a fucking heart attack here. And it goes into the sink and she gets it with some tongs and throws it out. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like,
so that was in the potato bag?
It was in the bag, yeah. As I was pulling the potato out, it was like on the side of my hand. Like a fresh bag. Like we literally just walked in the house. I bought it like on the way home.
I would have fucking thrown that straight in the bin, mate.
But it wasn't the fact that it was I don't really like spiders, but that was like, that's on my threshold of size where no bigger than that do I want anything like, no. It was more the fact that like, it just surprised me. Like I didn't expect.
Yeah, because you're not expecting to do a bush tucker trial while you're fucking sorting out your potatoes.
Bananas are the big ones, right? Bananas is what has.
Yeah, like and shit I think working in retail, I think every retailer person that's worked in a grocery store must have come across the banana spiders, which are fucking massive.
Yeah, exactly.
They're huge.
I've turned this fucking light on and now all I can see is a ring. How has that made that worse? Doing my fucking nut in. Once again, Jamie hasn't noticed my new glasses.
I have noticed your new spectacles, Dan.
Well, you know, it'd be nice of you to mention it, Jay.
Well, you were too busy having a freak out what side of the fucking screen I was on. So I was letting that play down until I started complimenting.
You got to let the tism play out, Jay. You got to let the tism play out. I can't help it. It really throws me off. It really throws me off. It's like if I came into the bedroom and Spina's laying on my side of the bed, I'd just be like, what?
Do you know what it reminds me? Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember when this time last year we were recording the Christmas special at my house, and we were in person, and me and you got quite bevved up before we'd even started recording, and as soon as we looked at each other, you were like, "This is weird, isn't it?"
Yeah. I was like, I don't like being in the same room as you while we're talking, Jamie.
That's what's going on.
What would you call it?
The barrier, the screen.
The barrier, yeah.
The buffer.
But, yeah. We're all in Specsavers, and I was like, I asked Mum to like help out and everything, and everyone's like picking, because I had like, if no one ever looks at any of like the ticks or anything, they wouldn't know, but I had like transparent glasses. And then I got these ones which are green. You can't see, but they're green.
Oh, they're green, okay.
And Sabina's like, oh, they're quite dark. And I'm like, yeah, they are dark, but what if I can get, just so Jamie can see?
No, I can't see any green.
Give a little.
So what happens? Do you keep your old glasses, or do you just keep them?
Yeah.
So you can like interchange when you want different outfits.
I'm using them for work because I get a lot of like blood and shit all over my glasses, and Spina always moans at me.
Oh, really?
So she's like, please don't use these ones for work. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't bother me really.
Whenever my mum gets glasses, or my dad used to before his fucking 2020 vision discovery, they always used to get 2 pairs at a time. Do they not offer you 2 pairs?
Well, they were doing an offer two pairs for the price of one, And then Mum and Sabina are like, "We'll get 2 then," and I'm like, "No," because I'm not the sort of person that my mum has like a different pair of glasses every week.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I was
just the way.
thinking. Like you'd have like different styles.
But I'm not like that. Like it just goes up. It's just they're just to see, right? So I put them on my face, and that's all I. I don't. I'm not.
Okay.
There's too much, like, especially because part of my anxiety with ADHD and stuff like that is that forgetfulness, and I don't want have 2 pairs of glasses, and I'm gone out, and I'm like, I forgot to swap my glasses over. I don't want. That's another level of anxiety I don't want. So like, I was like, no. So the woman was like, well, if you're not going to get the second pair, because obviously my prescription is quite bad, so I have to have my glasses thinned.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, well, if you don't want the extra pair, we can take the price off the thinning, and you just
Okay.
have 1 pair. And I was like, oh, if I could do that then. But this still cost me 90 quid.
Well, yeah, 90 quid's all right.
That's
I don't know.
mental.
I
For
don't know
some
how
glasses,
much glasses are supposed to cost.
well, it'd be nice to. They're in a bit of fucking plastic with a lens in. You know what I mean? My Timberland ones, the ones I was wearing before, were like 130, I think. But you
Yeah,
think
I'd be
that
going like full accessory. You know what I'm like with my accessories, man. I've got the fucking trainers. The next thing I would end up with, like having the abundance of his glasses. I would have too many of them sitting around, and I'd be like stuck amongst the piles and piles of glasses that I've been ordering
nah,
constantly.
see, I'm happy with one. Like the same with like I used to be like bad on phone cases, but now I just buy one and it does what it's supposed to do, and
Mm.
I'm not that
I was
fussed
thinking
about.
about phones the other day. It's mad, isn't it, to think that we were actually paying for ringtones and shit back in the day.
Well, the same with like phone cases though. Like I remember the one time I bought an iPhone, I was buying a new fucking phone case like every week because iPhone has got like the market of fucking phone cases.
Well, yeah, they've got the most. They're the most popular phone, really, aren't they?
I can't. My fold. I had to pay, and the fucking price of them as well. Fucking mental. Saying about. Sorry, my brain's going all over the place now. Saying about ringtones. I put a virus on my phone once because I was trying to download a ringtone. I think I was trying to get the theme song for Futurama, and I
What? And you
downloaded it from a dodgy website, and it fucked my phone up. Wish it was porn, but it wasn't. It was a fucking ringtone. Fucked me up.
Yeah, it'd be a much more interesting story if it was porn. And that's like that when I said about when I accidentally downloaded that fucking icon onto the family computer saying "nasty sex," and all I was trying to do was watch the South Park movie.
That's like when someone turns up and you're just like, it's so embarrassing that you say sex for the fucking. I was watching
Mm.
porn. Yeah, I was watching porn. I wasn't watching Thomas the Tank Engine and it froze and destroyed my laptop. You know what I mean? When back in the day, people are gonna hate this episode because my brain is like, you just got to go with it. Um, what were we doing? Me, my mate Dom and Jim that was on the podcast. We were playing a board game. It was really overly fucking complicated. Dom wasn't even playing it. It was like me and Jim playing it. I still have it. Like that, we only played that one time. He left it here. It was like a fucking £200 board game. He never took home. But I was like trying to read all the fucking instructions, and I didn't realize that Jim had got up and he was like sticking his bare ass in my face, and Dom was recording it. And then like obviously a couple of weeks went by, and then we realized that Dom had put that video on YouTube. It's gone now, but he put it underneath Thomas the Tank Engine. And I swear to God, the amount of comments of people that went, "This isn't Thomas the Tank Engine," like men, like grown fucking men. And we were just sort of like, why are you looking for Thomas the Tank Engine anyway? You're fucking 40 years old, you fucking weirdo.
It's weird what some people watch on the internet, man. It is fucking weird.
Just a guy getting arse in his face.
Mm.
Bastards back then.
It was. It was a weird. It's a strange. Especially the early internet days was like super strange because like there was no like now it's very everything's very. There's obviously still the dark web and shit, but everything's very commercialized now. Where in the early days of the internet didn't really know what it was, so there was just weird shit all over the place.
I
Like
used to love
sometimes
that
you'd be
though.
down like a weird rabbit hole and you'd be looking at weird shit all night. And then now it's harder to do that.
YouTube was the best when it was unrestricted. Like after the adpocalypse, it weren't the same.
Yeah, of course not.
And like some of the people that I still really like to watch, you can tell that they're like changing words that they wouldn't normally say or like cutting words out. So one of the guys, I can't remember, he plays like games or something, but he doesn't say swords anymore. He says the S word. He's like, oh,
That's
hand over
annoying.
that S word. Yeah, because he can't say sword because he doesn't want to get demonetized.
Well, there's a podcast that I listen to which comes up quite a lot on TikTok and stuff. It's got like an Asian dude and a mixed race dude in it,
Oh yeah.
and they're a pair of comedians. They've been doing stand up for a few years. They're good friends, yeah. But I didn't realize until they started doing their Patreon that in the main episode they don't really swear, and if they do swear, it's beeped out.
Oh really?
And then since they've pointed that out, that they're in their Patreon, it's going to be unfucking censored. I then struggle to listen to the main episodes because
It
I can
feels
hear
really
I can hear the
mild.
beeps now, yeah, and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck, they shouldn't have said that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed.
I feel like we've toned down a lot from like the beginning. Like people used to complain about, what was that one comment we had? You should save the swearing for when something happens, so it's more dramatic. And I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, I think we calmed down massively. I think I swear less. I don't swear less but you got to remember as well. At the beginning, we were drinking every episode. We don't drink on this anymore.
I suppose.
And that's a big difference, especially for my vocabulary, because that starts the more beers I have, it's like a sliding scale. Like the more beers Jamie has, the more he swears and goes fucking crazy all the time.
And when you get to a point where you can't do any comebacks, that was my favorite point. I would just be to say something, you would just go,
Fuck you,
"Fuck off, yeah, fuck off, fuck off." Like you could see in your brain, you just couldn't fucking function anymore. You just like, it's bad knowing your friends' weaknesses. But yeah, no, I didn't think of it that way. I suppose
Yeah,
that's true, isn't it?
I think that's what it is. Because when I was listening to early ones, you could hear I've had a drink.
Really?
Yeah. And I was thinking, fucking hell, people like this.
I'm still surprised. Like, I'm still surprised when I see it's on Sabina's phone, and I'm like, "Why are you listening to that?" I get you want to be supportive.
Yeah,
We've been together almost 2 years now. Like, I'm pretty sure it's acceptable. You don't have to listen anymore, but she still does. Thanks, I appreciate that.
that's good though, because Charlotte's never listened. So at least you
Well,
know that
that's
we've got one
benefit for
person.
you, isn't it?
Yeah. If she ever plays it back, I could be in trouble.
I just get now. Don't say that on the podcast. Don't talk about it on the podcast. I'm like, there's too much for me to remember not to say on the podcast. I mean, fuck knows what I'm supposed to be doing. We went out for dinner on Friday because like she's been really stressed out at the minute with like the flats up for sale and all that sort of stuff. So and she didn't go to her Christmas do because she didn't feel it. So I was like, well, let's go out for dinner because we don't do that very often.
Yeah.
And we went to the sushi place. And we had a good night. We were coming back, and then we got to her flat, and I put the key in. I'm like, oh, her door's really funny. So I'm like trying to turn it. I'm like, oh, you do it. I fucking hate this door. And she's all smug, and she's like doing it, and she's like, why is it not unlocking? And I'm like, oh, let me have another go. And I take the key out, and she looks at it, and she goes, oh, it's broken. And I'm
What,
like,
the
what?
key?
Yeah, the key had broken, like the prongs on the key had broken off. And I'm like, but I locked it. I was like, I literally used the key to lock it an hour ago. Like, how the fuck is it broken? It just goes in my pocket. I've got like a key thing that they all go in.
Yeah.
So it's all like secure. So then we were like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I
You
didn't
only
have
got
my
the one
car
key?
Well, no, because I went to get my hair cut. So I took my key off my car keys. I just had the keys. And then she was like, oh, you've got your keys. I won't bother taking mine.
Oh, shit.
So then we're standing there. And like, if you look through a fucking letterbox, you can see the fucking keys hanging. And there's no way we can go. We're like, for fuck's sake. So then I'm like, oh, we're just going to have to phone a locksmiths. But she rings her mate and is like, have you got a spare key? And she's like, oh, I'll have a look. So we walked up to Brewdog and we sat in Brewdog for 45 minutes. And the mate found a key and brought it down to us.
Yeah.
But fuck's sake, that's so like being right there, and you're like, and I needed a wee as well because I'm Dan. I'm like,
Yeah, of
oh.
course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fucking nightmare, man.
Locksmiths take hours as well, so you're pretty lucky, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's down south, right? Like, do you remember when we had to phone a locksmith? You would come up.
Yeah, and there was like, you had like a weird argument with your girlfriend at the time, and then we were locked out in the snow.
Yeah,
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah. But he only took like half an hour, and then I had to pay like a fucking £100 and something. It was like a Sunday or something, or Saturday or
it
Sunday.
was like quick, yeah. And that we was only going to the shop then as well, so that was like infuriating.
It was something to do with like, I can't remember. It was something to. Was it to do with a cold or something?
It was the actual mechanism on the door had gone rather than the lock, like the bit that pushes up and down.
But of course, she didn't fucking pay for it. The cow.
No.
Anyway, so I quickly threw a game together. This was Sabina's idea because I can't remember if she said she heard it on a podcast or she'd read it somewhere. But basically, they're Christmas movies, and I can't remember what she called it, bad explanation. I'm gonna like give you like a synopsis sort of thing of the film badly, and you got to tell me which Christmas movie it is. Some of them I've altered as well to make, so they might not be completely true. Like I've altered them to sort of throw you off.
Right.
But you should still be able to figure. They're not difficult because it's like Christmas movies are so obvious.
Yeah, if you know them, Dan. This is where I'm starting to think, let's hope that we know the same Christmas film.
Well, that's the thing, because one of them I read out to Sabina, and she was like, "That's too easy," and I'm like, "Well, you know, it's Jamie."
What the fuck does that mean? Hang on a minute.
I can't imagine that some like a couple of these. I don't even know if you've.
I don't retain, especially like films like that. I don't retain the information, especially if it's a rom-com Christmas film like The Holiday or something. Yeah, I'll have zero retained memory of what's happening in that film.
I've never seen The Holiday, so I couldn't figure one out. Even from like the plot on Wikipedia, I couldn't.
That's good. At least I know that's not in there then.
Oh yeah, shit, I should have said that. Anyway, we're not playing for money, so it's all right. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 6. So we'll see how you do. There's only a little there's no stakes, Jamie. You'll live after this if you get them wrong. It's fine. So the first one is: a man that doesn't care about Xmas goes to a Christmas party for his wife. While there, a group of guys gatecrash the party and all hell breaks loose.
Die Hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It could have been Scrooge or whatever. What's the Scrooge?
Yeah, Scrooge. Or the Scrooged is the Bill Murray. Yeah. I fucking love that film. It's so good.
That was a very good film. I remember that. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, but it was good.
That was like a really hard one to do as well, because I was like, what could I say? Like a billionaire. As soon as I would say gets visited, you'd be like, oh, that's the Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like some of them are really difficult to.
But there's so many versions. You could have said the Muppets Christmas Carol. I'll be there for ages.
Yeah, that's a bit unfair, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, close. Can you give me a bit more detail?
I'd be like, is the motherfucker green?
Right. A child attacks 2 men after they realise his parents have left him for the holidays, just trying to make sure that he's all right.
Man.
I tried to make it so he's like a violent kid. I was like, they just want to do a home check on him to make sure he's okay. And he violently attacks him.
He's become a meme this year because they were like, if Home Alone was in 2024, and then there's just a message, like a text message where he's like, "Mum, where are you?" She's like, "Oh shit, I'm at the airport. I didn't realise you weren't there. I'll be back soon." Whole movie avoided.
Fucking ridiculous. I keep seeing things of like a new one with like actual Macaulay Culkin. It's got to be like a.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know whether that was AI or not.
It's got to be like a. What do they call it? Like a gimmicky Christmas thing, because obviously one of them's dead now. Joe, whatever his name is, Joe Pesci.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are you gonna do? Like half a wet bandit, sticky bandit, whatever they're fucking called.
Or they'll CGI the shit out of it, like they did with Alien.
Fuck that. Right. A man that has no family really doesn't like Christmas, but the whole town is determined to rub it in his face. When he tries to ruin their holiday, they try to include him, which makes him change his ways and join in.
He doesn't like family, or he doesn't have a family.
He doesn't have a family.
Is this motherfucker green?
No clues, Jamie. No clues. You got to give it.
Is it the Grinch?
It's the Grinch.
Again, they have turned him into a meme this year. I was trying to convince the guys from work, because we're going out Friday.
Yeah.
For our unofficial Christmas drinks, the more fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the entire squad, there's like 20 of us. I was like, the whole squad goes dressed as the Grinch. And just do the entire night out dressed as the Grinch. And no one would do it.
No, because it's sweaty and itchy and fucking.
Yeah, I would hate it. Don't get me wrong. If once I'd put the suit on, I would be fuming. But Just the videos of people dressed up as the Grinch dancing in clubs is so funny. I'll send you the video later. It cracks me up.
Did you see the guy that made the gay Grinch suit? He's like got like a 6-pack and he's wearing like a thong. It's fucking like it's a really good suit. Like he makes himself like he's a TikToker.
Yeah.
And he makes it, but yeah, fucking weird. Did you see that Jim Carrey said that he would love to play the Grinch again?
I think they should do it.
They should do it, but like, because he said that obviously everyone knows the story about how painful it was when he did the movie, but he's like, he's done loads of like CGI and like all that sort of stuff. He goes, there's many ways they could do it now that wouldn't be uncomfortable for him. I'd watch it because apparently there is a second Grinch book. They brought out a second book, so they could do one.
Yeah, I know there's more to the story, isn't there?
Yeah. But I'd fucking watch it. Like that's my favorite. The new one was good. The animated Grinch, the Cumberbatch.
No, I didn't bother watching it.
It was good. Like it was all right. It was obviously no Jim Carrey, but it was still
A good version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. A boy gets tricked into a vehicle on the premise of seeing Santa before he goes to deliver the presents. There are loads of children there in their pajamas from around the world, and an old man is looking after them.
What? A kid gets tricked?
See this? I've spanned this bit a little bit more so to try and throw you off. Anyone at home's like yelling. A boy gets tricked into a vehicle on the premise of seeing Santa before he goes to deliver his presents. Sorry. There are loads of children in their pajamas from around the world, and an old man is looking after them.
An old man.
Makes it seem quite sinister for a Christmas movie, doesn't it, Jay?
Yeah, and this seems a little bit noncy.
I threw in vehicle as well to try and throw you off because I knew that if I said the actual vehicle, it'd be like.
Oh, was it the Polar Express?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one that Sabina was like, he'll get that straight away because children in pajamas.
The pajamas thing I wouldn't get. I was thinking at first, the snowman. Because he's in the pajamas when he gets stolen by
I was trying to do the snowman. I was going to be like, an inanimate object kidnaps a child and takes him away from his family.
I just watched Red 1, and the snowmen in that are fucking brilliant. I was like, this is such a cool way of doing snowmen. Why haven't they ever thought of doing snowmen like that, where they're like these big beastie things?
I hated the bit where like he shrinks up and down like Ant-Man.
Yeah, it was stupid, yeah.
Yeah, because he's so big that when he shrunk down, he just looked like...
He just looks like 5'4". Yeah,
yeah, no, it's just like fucking ridiculous. This is one that she found on the internet. A dysfunctional family damages the neighbour's property and then kidnaps their boss.
Dysfunctional family.
Damages neighbour's property and then kidnaps their boss.
No idea.
Why is the one that I didn't do the hardest one for you? I don't know if you've seen it, because this is quite an old Christmas movie, but we watch it every year.
Kidnaps their boss?
Yeah, at the end of the film, he kidnaps the boss.
I don't know that.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, okay. It's like have you ever seen the National Lampoon movies? There's like a whole set of them. It's Chevy Chase. It's like a really fake. Like we watch it every year. I have done ever since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like the classic Christmas films?
It's like the funniest fucking. If you want a funny Christmas movie like that, it's fucking genius.
Oh, right, okay.
Really fucking, it's so good. Yeah, it's just it's that standard where like he wants to have like a really good family Christmas, but everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he puts like all these lights on his house, spends like all day doing it, like completely covers his house, and they won't work. And he just gets more and more angry every time he tries to turn them on. It's fucking brilliant. But it's always on the telly. Like if you see it and you got nothing to do, watch it, man, because it's really good. All right, last one. I think you'll get this one. A child loses his father and in his grief sees him in an animate object, but still has to face it later on when Christmas is over.
Michael Keaton.
I'm not taking that, Jamie. You have to remember the name of the film.
He's a snowman.
It's there, Jay. It's on the tip of your tongue.
This film was one of my favourite films when I was younger.
It's so sad. It's amazing, but it's so sad.
It used to make you cry a lot.
Films don't do that nowadays. Like, if I watched that Red 1, I would not be crying. Didn't cry. I did see it.
I thought Red 1 was good in the way that it thought of new ways to do things, but it didn't... It was still not, like, old school vibes.
Everyone's angry at this because they're like, just let him have it. And I'm like, no.
Jack Frost.
That's it. There you go. He had it. I knew he had it. I could see it in his face. No one else can see it, but I can see it.
Unless they go over to the YouTube and support the YouTube channel, guys. Support
Makes
the
me laugh
YouTube
because
channel.
I had to go to the dentist last week, so I was up because I was in a bit of pain. So I sat there and did the YouTube. So we've actually got, because we're only doing one video a week now.
Yeah.
So we've got videos all the way up until the first week of January. So this isn't going to come out until like the 14th or something of January. I thought about just bringing it out on Christmas Day, like just this one episode, and because no one would notice. It's like,
Yeah, I think maybe.
yeah, not that
If it's not too hard to upload.
Well, it just takes longer because I'm doing like the
entire thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my game, hang on.
That'll be alright.
Right, so my game is the classic that I've done a few times. It's the headline game, which is the real headlines and which are the fake ones. It's obviously Christmas themed because this is the Christmas episode, Dan.
Ish.
The large ish.
I love that. One year we're gonna have to get T-shirts made that says it's Christmassish this year.
Yeah. Every special is like an ish, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The lack of preparation we put in. Welcome to our life, guys. We just throw shit together.
Fumble away.
Undercover Santa leads major drugs busts on evil reindeer gang.
I threw this idea to Jamie because I thought it'd be quite funny, but in doing so, Santa in general is quite ridiculous. So I didn't realise how ridiculous all the headlines would be.
It was quite hard actually to find ones that didn't sound very similar. There's quite a few similar ones.
So what was it again?
So what I'll do, I'll read them all out to you, and then
No, we'll do one. Do one
at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. What was
so your first one is Undercover Santa leads major drugs bust on evil reindeer gang.
So annoying because it sounds like a movie. Undercover Santa. Oh, that could be so. Oh, I'm gonna go false.
That one's true.
Fuck's sake! I knew it was gonna be fucking. That's what I mean. Like anything to do with Santa, like it's gonna sound ridiculous. It's gonna be like the hardest fucking game.
It was a Peruvian gang called the Reindeer Gang, and someone went dressed undercover as Santa to bust them. Knocked on the door dressed as Santa. Unbelievable, isn't
it?
Yeah. Man arrested for stealing Christmas trees. When authorities entered his home, they discovered 37 Christmas trees.
I can imagine that was true.
That is false.
Is it really? Because I'm sure I read something about someone breaking into people's houses and taking something.
I wrote that as what do you remember? Is it Friday? Next Friday, where it's a basic Christmas, and it's the crackhead Santa Claus keeps robbing everything. Yeah. I was watching that as I was writing this up. A snow globe almost burns down a charity shop on Christmas Day.
That's full.
That's true.
Fuck! I fucking hate this game. How is that true? Like, it's just full of liquid.
So basically, it was in the shop window, and it had fake snow around it, and they called it reindeer treats. I don't know what that is. Obviously, the sun had come in and gazed through the fucking
shit
thing, and then created like a magnifying glass type thing.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And the shop front was on fire.
That's mental.
On Christmas Day.
It didn't even burst to put it out.
This one's fucking mental, I've just got to say, yeah. I blew my butcher for his last pigs in blankets. Then my drunk hubby stuck them up his arse.
I want that to be true so badly. I'm going to say true because I want it to be true.
It is true.
Yeah, fucking yes. I don't blame him. I would blow someone for pigs and blankets. Them things are delicious.
Yeah, but then they didn't even eat them. Mate, boy's just shoving up his arsehole.
Well, you could still eat them.
Bastards.
Yeah, I'd be very annoyed if I'd gone through that effort and I walked into the kitchen and there's like matey boy with it. I'm like, you better be joking.
Well, I'd be like, why can't you just leave your bumhole alone for 5 minutes? Do you know what I mean?
Is there not other things in this house you could put up there? Why are my pigs and blankets?
Because you're not waiting until after dinner to do that. There's a time and place.
I bought you a perfectly good butt plug for Christmas. Just put that up there and then say have dinner. And get it stuffed.
It was certainly getting it stuffed.
They're not even that big. Like, what's the pleasure in that? They're like tiny.
From the butchers, you might have had proper sausages.
Maybe not the old chipolatas.
Cookie thief brought to justice after an hour-long car chase only ends with spilled milk.
That sounds like such a shit. Like it sounds like the Sun's headline. You know what I mean? Like someone's getting paid to write that. I'm gonna say false.
That is false.
Thank fuck.
That
But
is
whoever
false.
got paid to write that in the paper would be fired.
Dan, I'm an aspiring headline artist. Is that what it is? London trees mocked across the entire world.
That's true because it's a piece of shit. I saw. Did you see the video of it on fire?
I didn't see it on fire, but I've seen Americans and Germans absolutely rinsing off.
Did you see Poland's? Holy fuck!
No, I can imagine it was insane.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
That side of Europe always do really like big on Christmas.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Like we should as well. Like Christmas. Oh, I was gonna say Christmas to everyone. No, of course no, it's not, is it? But that's what we celebrate in this country. So you should put it out. Did you see the one that was in Wales? That was like, it was like a Christmas tree sticker on the side of the council building, and then like a 3D lights on the outside, like half a sort of 3D tree, and it's just the same shit. It just looks fucking terrible.
Well, I think what it comes down to is what I was talking to my mum about it, which it's pretty depressing to say, but obviously these things are put together by councils, and a lot of borough councils are going bankrupt. Like Northampton's gone bankrupt. Central Bed is supposed to go bankrupt so pretty soon. So they're like these central councils are no longer doing shit like that. Like the Hemel turn on of the lights got cancelled this year because they didn't have enough money to do it.
So did Perth's, but that was because of weather. That wasn't because of the thing. That was the weather.
So that's the world we live in.
Yeah, it's just stupid though, because like every year we play more and more money.
The thing is, what annoys me about London's tree, the one that they keep referencing, where they just turn it on and it's just like string lights coming down there, is everyone else's is like a proper tree. Ours is a proper tree, but they've just stuck some string lights on it, and that looks like just a person that can't be bothered to put any baubles on their tree. It's just done it. Do you know what I mean?
Like my tree.
It's
yeah,
like
the lights look like one of them lights that like a pop-up tent. Like they're just a circle and they've gone to the top and let it go. It's gone straight down to the bottom of the tree. That's what
I hate them type of lights. They seem to be in vogue at the minute. I don't like them. So they're not actually going round the tree. They're more just like leaning on top.
Yeah, fuck that. It's got to be in there. In it. It's got to be in it.
Other countries are doing it where it's fucking full blown, like every single fucking leaf has got a light on it.
It's the way it should be, man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, when you take your kids to see things like that,
it's festive.
They're excited and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't have to be about the holiday. It can just be for the kids to enjoy. No kid's gonna want to see that shit. I remember when I was younger, Christmas Eve or like a couple of days before that, getting in the car and driving round to look at everyone's Christmas trees, like the lights and all that.
I remember doing that, but I don't know where this new fashion's come from, where people are actively going to like London just to see the lights get turned on in certain places. I think that's fucking stupid. We never used to do that.
No.
And you'd be like in a massive crowd, and then all I'm thinking about is that how am I getting home from that? That's all I'm thinking. I know that makes me sound like an old man, but I don't want to be fucking standing there next to fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry, fucking looking at some fucking lights. Oh, they're on, and then let's go home. Fuck off. Maybe that's why ours is shit, because there's so many people like me in this world.
Don't give a fuck. The tree's different though.
60-year-old man eats 12 mince pies a day during the Christmas period to say it helps him get into the spirit.
I can say that's true.
That one's false, Dan.
How is it really? I can chow down on like a fucking box of 6 as soon as I walk in the door.
I think I could do 3 maybe. I don't think I could manage 12. Maybe if they were the smaller ones.
I bought a box the other day. I came in, ate 3 while I was cooking dinner, and then after dinner I put 3 in the air fryer to heat them up, and then had cream on it afterwards. Gone 6.
I've become a real snob when it comes to mince pies, man. Like a proper snob.
Nah, man, I got the cheap ones. I can't handle the brandy crap or the fucking Costco ones are the best.
I don't like the brandy ones. I like the Sainsbury's Taste the Difference.
Oh yeah.
They're the best ones you could buy, and I literally will go to saying I will drive past other shops to go there, and you know how much I hate physically going into shops as well. I will drive past other shops to go there to fucking do it, because I was like on. So on last Friday, I did a cheese and wine night at Sarah's
Oh yeah,
house,
you said. Mm-hmm.
and worst experience of my life being in Tesco's at 4 p.m. on a Friday. Put it that way. Worst experience of my fucking life. I argued with a gypsy. Did loads of stuff. It was just horrendous. Yeah, from the time I walked in there to the time I left, I was hating it. And I'm standing there next to the till, and then I realised I don't have a club card on my phone, and I only carry my phone now.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realise all their deals is on the club card, so I'm standing like on the side of the queue, asking Charlotte for the club card number so I could type it into my wallet on my phone, so I could get the deals off of all the shit that I've bought, because all the alcohol was like £2 for £3 and all the shit, and you don't get none of that, so it worked out to be really expensive. So anyway, long story short, I'm standing there, and then because obviously I fucked around so much, I then had to wait for the queue to go down,
Yeah.
and I could see mince pies in front of me, and I'm like, do I buy them? And then my like one part of me saying, yeah, buy them, they're probably going to be all right. The other part of me saying, you're wasting calories, don't buy them, da 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 da. And then I stood there for so long that I was like, I'm not going to buy them, but I'm going to go to Sainsbury's. So then I just went to Sainsbury's, even though I had a horrific experience, and I didn't have no time to go to Sainsbury's, I drove to Sainsbury's, which is further away than my house, to get the fucking mince pies. And then I was very satisfied on Saturday with my horrific hangover, eating them, feeling sorry for myself.
Mate, you got to try the Costco ones. They're fucking banging.
See, we don't go to Costco enough because we don't buy in bulk. We don't tend to go that often. So at Christmas we wouldn't be going. Maybe if I do end up going at some point for some reason, I will get them.
Yeah, they're really fucking good. They're like massive as well.
Exploding turkey scars a woman for life. That one is true.
Yeah, because in America they
Happens a lot.
deep fry them, didn't they?
Yeah.
If you put them in too quick, they fucking explode.
Deep frying a turkey sounds brilliant, but
It does sound
there's
brilliant,
a lot of work there.
Well, you have to just drop it in like really, really slowly. But yeah, like I know at Christmas the fire department and that release videos of like how to properly, safely do it and all this sort of stuff.
I would be like, do it in the middle of the garden. Do not fucking do it in your house.
Yeah, but they still do that. But like, it's like fucking volcano, man. If you just drop that fucker in there.
Yeah, apparently the propane catches a light. That's what it said on there.
Yeah.
Florida man arrested for fighting Santa Claus for the second year in a row.
Anything to do with the Florida man is true.
I wish you'd get out the fucking hallway. All I can hear is Charlotte talking. Man stapled balls to Christmas wreath.
I want to say true, but I don't think it is false.
That one's true.
Yeah, I fucking knew it was as well. I got
and
to
he
trust
did
my
it
gut.
in a range. The range.
Did he?
He did it in the middle of a shop. Yeah.
Respect.
What he said it was for a protest, but what he was protesting, it just said in the article, still remains unclear. And I was just like, well,
That's how you get away with it nowadays, isn't it? I'm protesting it. What are you protesting?
just a boil.
Yeah, just...
Fucking bollocks attached to the wreath.
Fuck's sake. Is that all of them?
That's all of them, yeah.
That was good, man. That was a good laugh. I feel we've hit our Christmasish quota. I think that was pretty good. If anyone wants to email and complain, I will read it and I won't read it out. So don't bother.
You won't hear it till February.
Well, depends if Jamie comes back from his holiday, doesn't it? Could be going on another one and gets back. Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host, only taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you're easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but it's not the podcast for you, so see you later. Please enjoy the rest of the show. I'm going to say it anyway. The podcast merch is still live. If you order it now, you will not get it by Christmas. But order it because you will get it after Christmas. It's there for you. And the Esser's Vault was there. You never know. There might be you got some money coming in for Christmas. Get yourself a cheeky t-shirt, some aftershave.
The Essence Vault is doing me well this Christmas. I've had a lot of fucking compliments.
That's probably why you've had so many fucking emails from them on the bloody God, I keep deleting them. So many clips already. Are you using Opus Clip?
Opus Clip. I used it once.
Oh, okay, keeps getting things saying something's ready. Right, episode. Is it 41 or 40? I can't remember.
41.
41. Starting off strong. David, our favourite emailer in, gives us a lot of good laughs. This past week, I had something occur that is difficult to process. My wife informed me that our son was taken to the guidance department, that he needed to adjust what he wears. My son likes form-fitting shirts and tight leggings. Is that like joggers, right? Not leggings.
I don't know. Maybe that's what the kids are into, leggings nowadays. I'm assuming there will be leggings.
The problem with this outfit is apparently that it shows off his large member. Yes, my 12-year-old son was sent to the office because his junk is too big. At first I laughed it off, and then I thought deeper. Grown adults are asking a young boy to change his clothes because it is too revealing. Would these same administrators call a girl out for the tight shirt or form-fitting pants? To make matters worse, he cannot help it. Years ago, he needed genital reconstructive surgery to repair a birth defect and needed a hormone boost, the result in which is an extra growth of puberty. So that adult administrators at my son's school are targeting him because he is comfortable in tight pants, and it's distracting. Luckily, he has been raised to be comfortable with his own skin, but still too odd not to share. That's pretty balmy. I don't think it's like. I think if a girl has like her boobs and that hanging out, I definitely think they would call her in as well.
Mate, they did. When I was
Yeah.
in school, like, the girls' skirts were getting shorter and shorter until eventually, like, I remember them, like, there was a whole rule come out that had to be, like, past a certain length.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girls were, like, coming in and they were, like, some of them were classed more as a belt than a skirt, do you know what I mean? So, and they used to wear, like, proper tight fitting shirts as well. Because obviously we
Mm-hmm.
wear uniform in schools, which is different to America. So we would always find ways to, like, eschew our uniform. Like, I used to go to school with I found, like, a plain black cashmere jumper that
Yeah.
was, like, a bit more fitting, because the ones that you got from the school, you look like a fucking idiot in it. So,
Yeah.
because obviously that's just what they provide. So then you just end up getting, like, and then I would always get in trouble for that jumper all the time. But guess what? The jumper fucking stayed on, mate. It fucking stayed on, never fucking come off. I think there's always stuff like that. Like, well, you just got to be prepared for it, innit? Like, if your boy's happy and understands that they're saying it because they have to, they don't want to be fun. They don't want to do that awkward conversation. I had to do it with a young girl that worked for it. She used to have a thong hanging out all the time when she was, like, filling up, like, the milk or whatever.
Mm.
And say she was doing, like, a delivery, she'd be putting out loads of stuff on the shelves, but every time she bent over, the thong would be fully out, and we had customer complaints over it. And I had to, and she was only a year younger than me, had to then go into the office with her and then have that conversation, and it's fucking, no one's comfortable in that room, put it that way. It's not a nice conversation to have. But
Brilliant.
yeah, I think they didn't want to have to do it, but they did it because someone's obviously had a moan.
I think as well, I think they could have done it a bit more discreet. Like, I don't think they should have, like, called the kid out or anything like that. I think it should have
No,
been just a call home and be like, oh, just to let you know,
this
we've
has been
had
said.
complaints. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you mind, you know, giving him looser joggers or whatever to wear to
or like an oversized
school?
tee,
Yeah, yeah. Just
something to a bit more form fitting.
yeah, because obviously everyone, like, as soon as you get called to, like, the office or taken out of a room, everyone's like, what's happening? What's happening? And then he's got to explain what's going on. Well, I would just be walking, I'd just be fucking strutting.
I'd walk in with it straddled over my shoulder, just be
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
That's the fucking python has caused some issues in the classroom." You'd be the talk of the town, especially amongst the fucking girls, for a little while. So
I'd be like, if I was the teacher and I had that kid, I'd be like, hey, Trojan, sit down. He's like, what's that? And I'd be like, remember that word, you'll be buying a lot of them later. Yeah, fucking beast. That's a pretty good name, isn't it, Trojan?
Trojan, yeah. But no, yeah. I remember them conversations happening all the time in school. Not that about a boy's fucking junk, but it was always happening with the girls. Always.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly acceptable to like, because I mean that if there's a bulge, there's a bulge, and everyone's looking at that bulge.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's the same with tits, right? Like all of a sudden, this girl comes in and she's got tits that she didn't have the day before, and everyone's like, "Holy fuck!"
There's a reason that they grey joggers are a known thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But thank you for the email. It did make me laugh. Hopefully the listeners enjoyed it as well. And what a lucky boy. Hopefully he's not bigger than you, because that'd be a fucking. As soon as I'll be,
Certain
if
dominance
I have a
straight away.
son and I find out his thing's bigger than mine, man, I will not be happy. I'll be giving him shit food and like I wouldn't be walking in home from school. I'd be like, "What your fucking cell phone, you prick? You got that thing, he'll fucking protect you, isn't it? You python." There's the episode of Family Guy, in it, where he finds out that Chris has got a monster, and it just ruins his life. Have you not seen that episode? And whenever Lois talks to him with that, all he hears is, "Your son's dick's bigger than yours." And he's like, I know it is. Leave me alone. He's like running away. That's an old episode as well. That's like fucking.
Oh yeah,
beginning.
that sounds like early days Family Guy.
Yeah. A dad's worst nightmare. With the drink for a while, because the aftermath of how I felt this weekend and all that, I don't think I can handle the anxiety the next day. Have you guys ever done something so embarrassing at a party or night out? Do you have any advice on how to approach this? I wouldn't give up drink. Everyone gets fucking wrecked at
especially when you're at Christmas parties. You're around people you don't really drink around, so there's like a level of like fucking uneasiness, which then makes people drink more. And table wine's fucking dangerous because a lot of people aren't good at wine, and it's free. Do you know what I mean? So
we spoke about me and Jamie's first Christmas do together, where like the boss was in the fucking wrestling with the supervisor in the
360.
toilet.
Guess where I was for my last Christmas do, Dan?
Oh, at the same place?
Last week. Same place.
Fucking hell, I can't even believe that's still there. All I remember from that night is in the conga line. No, was it the conga line? Oh, limbo line. Where you go underneath the board. Yeah. And doing it like 3 times, failing, and just you and everyone at the table going, "Dan, you're supposed to leave when you fuck it up." And I'm like, "I'm having a good time." And I go back on the back of the line. No one's stopping me. I'm just going again. I was so sick.
We all got so smashed at that fucking do, man. And it happened again at the previously. I just went to one with Joe. Uncle Joe was there. Connor was there. People that've been on the show, obviously. Charlotte was with me. We were out till 3 a.m.
Fucking hell, man.
3 in the bloody morning.
I couldn't do it now.
The do finished at 1 a.m. And it was a free bar, so that everyone went mental in it and just started drinking loads. And it was just crazy, man. It was a good time, but it was crazy.
I couldn't do it now. Fuck that.
Mate, that wrote me off for a week and a half.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about the comments and stuff like that. Like I said, like when the person that hired me for the co-op, he was leaving after that Christmas do. And the new boss came in and he introduced me as the guy that drinks too much at the Christmas party. And I was like, "Thanks for that, mate. Appreciate that." So I wouldn't worry. If no one saw, and even if you wait, who gives a fuck? I was throwing up out my fucking nose that night. I had the taxi had to stop like 2 or 3 times for me to throw up. Like
I think if you're around the right people, it gives you a bit of like a bonding situation. Do you know what I mean? If you're around the wrong people, they're just snaky. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they helped you out. They got you. They picked you up and they got you out before anyone noticed.
Out there, so it's a bonding.
It could have been fucking table wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Could have been anything.
Could have been Chardonnay.
I remember. I was thinking about this the other day. Funny enough, so my mate went to university in Cambridge. I don't think I told this story. And he invited me up there when my missus at the time to go to this party that he was invited to. And we went there. It was at her flat, wherever it was. And when we got there, what was it? It was supposed to be like a terrible music party. So it was all music like really cheesy, like boy bands and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
but they showed me where the laptop was, where the music and stuff was on.
Mm.
After that, I was blottoed. I don't remember getting drunk. I was just drunk. So it was like I got there, they showed me everything around, and then I was hammered. I don't know the bit leading up to that. And then all I remember is sitting on this computer, changing the songs every 2 minutes because I'm like, this music's fucking shit. I'm like, I'm gonna put something better on, and they're like, Dan, that's the point. I'm like, fuck off. I like changing the music. And then this guy turns up and he was a ginger, and I'm just like, Ginger, you fucking cunt. And I'm just like, and then I'm blacked out again. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where the fuck is the ginger? And they're like, oh, he's just gone. I'm like, no. And I'm running down this fucking high street in Cambridge screaming ginger. And he's in a taxi. He's gone like 20 minutes ago. But I'm like trying to find him. And then I get back, I black out again. And then we're walking home. Well, I'm being carried home. And I throw up on myself. There's my mate and my girlfriend at the time taking my clothes off to put in the washing machine because I've just been sick all over myself. And then they put me to bed. And the next morning I wake up and I'm like, I'm a bit thirsty. Like nothing. I was never invited back to a party in Cambridge after that one.
I went to Nottingham where my brother went to university.
Yeah.
And they were doing drinking games, which is always fucking dangerous as
Fucking
it is.
hell. Yeah.
And then I was trying to fuck people over. So I had a bottle of Sambuca, and we were doing the dirty pint, something to do with a dirty pint, and we were passing this pint around and we were pouring more and more stuff into it so that everyone had like rosé and fucking like beer and everything. So it all had loads of stuff in it. And the pint looked like a dark grey. It was disgusting, yeah. And I kept pouring Sambuca into it every time it would come past me, laughing my head off. Guess who the fucking dirty pint landed on? Jamie fucking Waltman.
How's that work? Like it just until it's full. Like it goes around and stops when it's full.
We were playing like a card game, and then like once the first person that gets out had to drink the pint. I can't remember what the card game was because I fucking blacked out. But we were. I remember looking at the pint and thinking, Jesus. And then I drank it. It was horrendous. It was like had everything. It had Baileys, fucking Sambuca, fucking wine, beer, everything was in it, yeah. And then I drank the whole pint, and then I just went berserk instantly. I was just like going crazy. And I remember I was like dancing in Kieran's fucking like dorm kitchen.
Yeah.
And then there was a girl called Chloe that he went to university with, and no word of a lie, Chloe was like a northern girl, bit chubby, white as the fucking snow, yeah. These were the days where girls went over the top with tanning, and she went to get ready, and she come out in all basically in blackface. Like she was that tanned that she changed colour, and because I was so drunk I couldn't handle it. So I was like, who are you? She was like, Chloe. I was like, no, Chloe's a white girl. And she was like, yeah, it's Chloe. I put some tan on. I was like, no, you're not Chloe. I was like, I don't know who she is. She's come in here. She's broken in. And I was like convinced she'd broken into the flat. And they were like all telling me to shut up, yeah. And then we go to the nightclub, and obviously being students, they had to get to the nightclub before you get charged to go in. So there's no one in there. And Kieran goes to the bouncer. He's all right. We'll keep an eye on him because I'm fucking levered. Yeah, it's 6 p.m. I'm levered. The bouncer's not sure about letting me in. Yeah, and then I go in, and me and Connor, my cousin, go out for a smoke in the smoking area. And Connor's standing there talking to me, asking if I'm all right. And the bouncer's standing watching me in the smoking area. And Kieran goes, he's all right. And then I just like fucking collapse, like face land on my face, yeah. And then they pick me up. And then the bouncer goes, if he falls over one more time, he's gone. And as he says that, I collapse into the bouncer. So then Connor just said all he saw was two bouncers lift me up off the ground and just carry me out of the whole bar. And then Kieran had to get a taxi. Obviously, I was earning quite a bit of money back then because I was a manager or something at that point. So I was earning enough money to keep me afloat. So I said to Kieran, take my wallet and just get me a taxi back to the dorm. So I threw my wallet at him. He took the money out of the wallet. The wallet fell on the floor in the taxi, and then I lost my wallet, which had my train ticket from Nottingham in it. So it was a whole fucking nightmare the next day.
You lost so many wallets back in the day, man. Like I swear to God.
That was around that time where that was like number 4 disappearance. It was when I kept losing them constantly.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, hopefully them 2 stories have made the listener feel better.
Yeah, you're not the only person that gets drunk. All I would say is as you get older, it gets harder. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, there isn't really any advice you can give when I mean, Christmas parties are pretty manic anyway, but the main thing is to know like your limits. Like I said before, I know when I go to the toilet and I start swaying, I'm cut off. Like that's I've learned now that that's my. After that, I'm sloppy. I've got. You know what I mean,
I think one of the best advice I'll give to anyone, which I never take on myself, is stay away from shots.
yeah, I don't do shots. Shots
Yeah.
are fucking. Or actually, say that now that I go to Czech, I do shots. I do Bekarovka. Fucking love Bekarovka. But yeah, shots is a bad one. Yeah, don't do shots.
I think I can
Shots,
stay
shots,
safe if
shots.
I'm on beers with no shots. I can stay safe on the night out.
I've started introducing beers back into like my. But like I tried it with Shandy.
Yeah.
And I didn't get bloated or anything like that. So we went out when we went out for that meal on Friday. I was like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna have, was it a sari or something?
Yeah.
And I was okay. So I said to Spino, I was like, when we go back in February, I was like, I'm having a Czech pint. I just want one just so I can try it because I seem to be okay. So fingers crossed for that. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. But yeah, good luck and have good fun at your next Christmas party. You got to do better than you did this year. Hey boys, I just come out of a relationship with a girl and found out she's hitting up my boys asking if they want some no strings fun, basically just to get back at me. I was worried as she heads down a list some of the guys would do it, and I'm going to get some sort of revenge videos sent to me. I ended it because the age gap was 10 years, and at times I was struggling to find common ground in the conversation. So it wasn't nice, and I thought it was an amicable breakup, but she's turned around and started doing stuff like this. It's a real embarrassing time being slated on Facebook in cryptic statuses and having friends I haven't seen in months message me about them being approached. What can I do to put a stop to this, lads? What's the cure for craziness?
There's nothing you can do. All you can do is give her the least amount of attention as you can, and just pre-warn your friendship groups. Like, just say, look, she's doing this to get back at me. Just so you know, you've not got my fucking permission to do it. Not permission, but like okay to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, block and delete, mate. Block and
Yeah,
delete.
I would fucking delete her, get rid of her, and then once she realizes that none of the mates are going to be playing ball, she will soon give up.
Move on. Yeah, for sure. I had a fucking one of my exes, obviously. One of them fucking mental as fuck. But we were going to London with my mate, and she brought her mate with her. And I was like, all right, then, fair enough, like the 4 of us. And the whole time we went to London, she was like all over my mate. And it's like my girlfriend at the time. And I'm like, at the end of it, I'm
Weird.
like, yeah, I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. And she's like, oh, well, I brought this one for you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, we're the ones fucking dating, you dozy fucking tit. And then, like, I was quite obviously verbal towards my mate. And I was like, if you fucking do anything with her, like, don't even
Me and
bother
you are
fucking
done.
speaking to her. Yeah. And I don't know if he ever eventually did. If he did, fucking best of luck to him because she was a fucking nutcase. But like, there's no cure for crazy. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You just gotta, like Jamie says, the least amount of attention, the better. Because that's what they do it, right? Crazy needs fire.
Yeah, they need the attention, and there's people that, because what's happening at the minute, I can almost guarantee, is every time someone's messaging you and saying so and so is reaching out to me for this, and that, you're then going to her and saying, "Stop messaging my mates every time," and that is what she's looking for. Like, you're feeding into it. If you don't feed into it, give it a month, she'll be on to the next one. She'll be on to the next geezer and making his life fucking hell. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's obviously she didn't agree with the way you split up, and some people get hurt and they do crazy shit, and that's what she's done.
I think that just shows the age gap, right?
Mm.
Like for you, you had, to me, really sensible reasons, yeah. And like when you get to like a certain age, like just wasting time because you sort of like, oh, she's attractive, is just fucking pointless. But for her, she's got like fucking 10 years, a long time to be like, oh, I've got time to do whatever the fuck I want and dick about and waste my own fucking time. So it's like, yeah, I don't fucking blame you for what you did. I was watching 90 Days as I do, and there's a couple on this. She called it soft partnering. Yeah, she goes to this guy. Oh, I haven't. She calls it popping off when she gets angry. She goes, I haven't popped off on you. I've been soft partnering you. And I said to Spin, I was like, that's such an immature fucking thing to say. It's like everyone has a honeymoon period when they first start dating.
Of course, yeah.
And you shouldn't have, because you need to set boundaries and things like that. But people don't, which is why I end up relationships.
Me and
fucked
Charlotte
up.
had like the opposite. We had like a arguing period for 6 months, and then
that's because Jamie had an arrested period for a lot of time. Yeah. But like, so yeah, I'm like saying to Spin, I'm like, that's so fucking bullshit, because what she's saying is that she's hiding who she really is, so you don't leave her. Like, she wants you to be invested enough that when she has a go at you for something stupid, you're not going to go running. So she calls it soft partnering. So, but what you're really doing is soft partnering is you're having a conversation without getting angry, which is the sensible thing to do. But what you want to do is have a fucking...
Which means she knows how to communicate properly.
Yeah.
But then she is saying that eventually she's going to revert to her default, which is crazy ass fucking motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, you're a fucking... Fuck that. Fuck that.
It's like in the last season of... Oh, what's that thing called? Married at First Sight, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
In Married at First Sight, there was a deaf guy, and then he got with this real rough chick from fucking Birmingham, just outside Birmingham, some place called Chilwell or something.
Right.
And her mum and dad look like bodybuilders, gypsies, bodybuilding gypsies, yeah? So you can imagine she thinks she's a princess. She's been brought up by these people that she, like, and he was like really lovely to her, but he's a big bloke, and like obviously with being deaf, he can lip read and stuff, and he's got the ear things in. So his communication isn't always 100%. And she was like such a princess and wanted to make everything about herself. And so like when they were arguing, he would sometimes get the wrong end of the stick and get frustrated and get annoyed at her. Yeah. And then as soon as he like slightly raised his voice, which he would raise his voice because he doesn't know how fucking loud his voice is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, if you do that, and we're not back in Chilwell, whatever swamp she come out of. If you're not back in Chilwell and we're not in Manchester where he wants to live,
yeah,
you're just going to walk out and leave me. And I'm like, yes, because that's the fucking not crazy thing to do. What do you want him to stay in the house and beat you? Is that what you want? Like the guy's walking out of the argumentative situation.
Yeah,
like that is a adult thing to do. Like, fucking off every 5 minutes is not adult, but to walk out of an aggressive situation is the adult thing to do. To stand there and try and go and fucking fight your partner is crazy. And that's what it seemed like she wanted him to do.
Yeah, she wants to be a victim.
Yeah. And then you find out, like they go through the whole process. 3 weeks after the process, they split up, and then he gets with a girl that seems normal. Yeah, I was just like, well, for sure. Good on him to get away from her.
You got to bat him away. Yeah, the only advice I can give to you, man, is like Jamie says, don't give it any attention. And you just got to pray that your mates won't go there. And if they do, he ain't your fucking mate, right? You just get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, life goes on. Yeah, she can do like revenge stuff and that, but tomorrow's another day.
Like, I don't know how old this geezer is, but as you get older, you start to realise that a lot of people that you say are your mates don't have the respect for you that you think they might. And if one of these people do make that move and do it, then fuck them.
Yeah, they ain't worth it. If you're at that age, man, just fucking get rid of them. It's better off just keeping... I've only got like 2 or 3 people that I consider my mates, and my life is fucking as happy as can be, man. I ain't got no worries. So good luck. You'll know the signs later on for your next one. Hello, gentle ladies.
Gentle ladies.
I like that. It makes me feel pretty. I'm going out this weekend for my Christmas party, and I'm thinking about putting it on the girl I've been crushing on this year. I just don't know how to approach it without looking like a creep. Any ideas on how to make my feelings known without looking desperate? So I messaged Jamie and I've replied to this already because it was last week, and obviously this isn't coming out till Friday. So we're just gonna basically talk about what we said, and hopefully it went all right. Fingers crossed.
I can't remember what we said. Can you remember what I said to say?
Don't be a dick, I think.
Essentially.
No, I can't remember. I know I said to him, where is my reply? I can find it for you if you like. The main thing is to be confident.
But yeah, play it cool.
Play it cool, yeah.
Yeah, and don't like go in there with a desperate like air on you.
Yeah, and I said, if she says no, don't start vomiting words to try and cover it. Just be like, you're confident. Be like, okay, no problem. You can carry on talking to her, or you can like walk away. But when like it's the same with that bloke that was putting the letter underneath that woman's door. Like if you go up and you're like, oh, do you want to go out for a drink or go for a meal or whatever the situation calls for, and she says no, and then you go, okay, well, it was only because I was doing this, and I we would have had a good time, and I really liked you, and you just start vomiting everything that's in your brain.
Yeah,
you just
and
seem
then you
really...
end up saying, "Oh, I do have a duffel bag that has your name on it," and then like they're thinking you're a serial killer.
And then you got like everyone talking about you at work and stuff like that. But if you just go up and ask and she says no, and you're like, okay, no worries, and like I said, you can carry on talking or talk about something else or leave. She's not gonna,
unless she's really into you, I think most girls might not have picked up the vibe. And it might, even if she says no, it might have twigged something in her head. I know that gives a bit of false hope there, but it's not necessarily something that if she has not thought about it that way, thought about you in that way, then this might be something that lets your like feelings known. But I wouldn't do it in the group setting. I would just like try and quietly sideswipe it.
Yeah, there'd be a time, a Christmas party, there's going to be a time where it's just like everyone's chatting, and like you're off talking to her, and that's for your time, right? I say just be like, oh, do you want to go for a drink sometime? And then like the more pressure you put on it, if she says no, and that is when the rumors start. If you're quite confident and been like, okay, no worries, she won't even mention it to anyone else.
No, because it's like you shot your shot. That's it.
Yeah, what's there to talk about? And Jamie's right. Like she may not have realised or anything, or be looking. And when you ask her out and she says no, she might suddenly go away and be like, that could be quite fun to.
Yeah, and you might get an answer later.
Yeah, and then she'll come up to you and be like, I reconsidered. But I've done that a few times where it's like they say no, and you're like, I need to cover myself now, not to look like a dick. But then you just look like a dick because you're just talking random fucking crap,
I've been in the weird situation where they've said yes to me, but then when you actually are out together, it's weird as fuck. And then like they clearly just said yes because they didn't want to say no. So then it's like I now know that instantly. So then I'm fucking like being weird as well. So I'm like being a weird little fucking creeper hanging around. I'm just like, and then it ends up being like there was one conversation that I just had where it was like, it's not working as romantically, is it? And she was like, no. I was like, okay, should we just go and meet up with the rest of the guys? Because I knew the other guys were in the pub. And then she was like, yeah. And then we went down and met Gareth and all that. And I was just like, this is a bit better.
I hate when like you fully prepared for the no and then she says yes and you go, oh. And then you're trying to think of something to do with her and you're like, maybe we can go to dinner? And she's like, yeah, that's fine, yeah. And you're like, okay, I'll see you then. And then you completely forget to pick a time and a day and you just walked off.
Unless she's really into her food as well, I don't suggest dinner as well. Like,
no, for a first date, no. Yeah. Fuck that.
Oh, and it's been so awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say a drink or a coffee or something small. But then, like, obviously, if you've been working together for a year, then, I don't know, I can understand a meal would be a bit more
to say to each other.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, I mean, straight off the bat, I would never advise, especially nowadays where everything's so quick. Yeah, I mean, like, a coffee's enough to know whether you want to meet someone again.
Yeah.
And it's not a bigger investment either, like, because you can pay for a coffee, and yeah, it's expensive, but it's cheaper than a fucking meal.
I mean, it's better than dropping, like, 90 quid on a meal.
Yeah. So, but we hopefully it went well. I mean, a lot of things happen at a Christmas party, so that's also a bonus if you make it for yourself. But Stand up tall. I mean, don't slouch over. They say that a person sitting up straight is more attractive than a sloucher, which is why I was single for so long. Throw a little dig in there.
And Christmas parties are renowned for this type of shit. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just be relaxed. Go in there, ask the question. And at the end of the day, as well, all these people you get that are like, "Oh, I want to ask this person out." The relief of knowing the answer is much better than the "I want to, I want to." When do I? When do I? Like that shit plays in your mind for ages. So just get it done. Once you know, you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Wish I'd realised that when I was younger.
I think you ultimately get hurt as well if you hold it in, because they'll end up just going with someone else.
Yeah, miss your chance, or you blow it, or like you put it on a pedestal, and then when it finally happens, it's crap. I mean, but you'll be all right. My balls are in a vice right now, boys. I got caught on dating sites by my wife. Yes, she went on my phone without my acknowledgement, which I felt like a break of trust. But I was also drunkenly messaging other women. I've been doing it for months, but never acted on anything. I've just been flirting while bored and drunk at weekends. With this knowledge that my wife hates me on my with this knowledge, the wife hates me on the daily, and I'm seriously in the doghouse. What do I do to get through this one, boys?
I think the break of trust starts with you being on fucking dating sites. Not her looking at your phone. Obviously, you've had enough notifications coming through that she's thinking, what's going on?
Yeah.
I think that's mad. But in all the time that me and Charlotte have been together, I've not been signed up to anything like that. And I just think it's a mental thing to do if you're in a committed relationship. And I think, yeah, like if you're bored, is it I had this conversation with Charlotte when this was coming through, and I was like, is it because he's bored and he needs someone to talk to? Or is it because he's bored and he wants to talk to women? There's a difference between, if you want someone to talk to, you could play fucking Xbox and go onto the game chat. You could do, when I was fucking doing the lives, trying to get our podcast going on the lives, there's fucking people in the lives all night. Do you know what I mean? Talking shite to each other. There's things like that you could do. But if it's you're like actively hunting down other women and trying to chat up other women, then you need to look at your relationship and see whether you're happy, because you're obviously not if you're doing that when you're drunk.
I think sometimes where it's like when you've been with someone for a while, you lose that, right? You lose that
Flirtatiousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might not be necessarily that he wants to act on anything. It's more the fact that he just wants to have that like flirtiness when he's drunk, because he's not going out to clubs and flirting with women face to face. He's just doing it on the. I'm not saying it's right in any way for him to be doing it. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to.
In my head, he's not acted it. If I was her, I would be thinking he's not acted on it yet because there's no one that's reciprocated in the right way to him. And then that would then put me into a tailspin thinking, well, he's not happy with me, da, 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 da. And it could be just that you're not happy at the minute and you just need to bring your relationship back to the forefront of your mind and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a difficult one for me because, like, I just don't understand that mentality. Like, I understand having ups and downs in a long-term relationship because that happens. But to go to the point where you're getting drunk at the weekend, or you've been drunk at the weekend and you're deciding to chat to people, and there always would be people in your local area, would they not? Most of the time,
I can imagine
I don't know how
I
they
think
work.
I don't know. I haven't been on. Obviously, it's been 2 years now. I can brag. I haven't been on them in a while, Jamie. I don't know the ins and outs of these things anymore. But if I wanted to take a guess, yeah, I think you could, like, back in the day, you could like take off your location thing, and you could like pick a location. So if you were looking,
That seems less harmful to me. But I was just thinking, you'd be on the school. Say if you're a dad and you're on the school run, and like Tabitha from fucking the app is also standing in the playground, and you're standing there with your wife, like that creates a whole weird dynamic.
yeah, it does. Yeah, I think because he hasn't acted on anything, right? What I would say to him is like, maybe you miss that in your relationship, and when you're drunk, because obviously you're a lot more truthful when you're drunk, right? You're looking
Yeah.
for that bit that you miss. So I'll be like, she will forgive you eventually, right? At this point in time, you've just got to take the fucking shit that she's giving you because
you've acted like an idiot.
Yeah. But in the future, I would sit down with her and I'd just be like, oh, I was missing that sort of flirtatious and stuff like that. But it's up to you to bring that back into your relationship. So try and say to her, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And like send her flirty messages, see what she says back.
Yeah, I think bringing your relationship back to the forefront is what if you don't want to lose her, I think that's the way to go.
I think if you get that from her that you're obviously not getting at the minute, you won't want to go on to the dating things. But I think at the minute, you just got to sort of take what she's giving you, even if it's to the point where you're like, look, I know I fucked up and I'm quite happy to have my phone unlocked so you can check it whenever you want. Because she'll be quite happy with it. But like at the minute, but the trust is broken. You know what I mean? So she's going to be paranoid with everything you're doing, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, because she'll know, even though you've not done nothing, she's not going to 100% trust you on that because the intention was there, chatting to people. So she won't 100% trust you on that. I think you've just got to kind of take the punches at the minute, and then go from there, and then see where that gets you.
But I think the best thing to do with her is to be honest. I agree with Jamie. Like if you were doing it and you were eventually intending to, then maybe your relationship's not there. But I think if you sit down and you say to her, and be like, why were you doing it? I mean, was it because you miss being flirty with someone? Because she's there. Yeah, I mean, she's still a person just because she's your missus. Is that something you can both work on?
You could just do stupid shit when you're drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but that's the main thing, right? You've got to be honest because at the minute there's no trust. And if you sit down with her and be like, look, and lay it on the line, you've both got to decide where you want to move from there, right? Like, are you now panicked because she's caught you?
Yeah, and did you have any intention to stop before that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard without like knowing you and like more context within the emails and stuff like that. But I like to imagine that it was just because you were missing something in your current relationship and you're still happy. And what you've got to go from now is to rebuild the trust and then
bring it back to where it was.
Yeah, bring the little because people get stagnant, right? They get stuck in their
of course
everyday sort of shit, and you miss that sort of like, oh, when I was younger, I went out to clubs and I flirted with this and that, and it didn't fucking matter.
Routine in general was a very good thing, but routine at the same time can make a relationship seem monotonous. And if you're in, like, especially if you've got kids, as I said, and stuff, you're just going through the daily stuff. Maybe you're not making enough time for each other, and then that's where you miss that side of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like that going out for a meal on Friday was the first time me and Spina have gone out, just me and her for a meal for ages.
But gives you like a nice little reset.
Yeah, it was quite good. Yeah, just sort of chill out and have a drink and stuff like that. Apart from then, obviously the breaking the key ruined it. Yeah, yeah. So I think in the new year, I want to at least like once a month go out for like a meal, just so we like because obviously you cook dinner. One of you cooks dinner. One of you washes up. You sit and you watch telly, and then you go to bed and you get up and you go to work. It's all just you just become like flatmates, right?
Yeah, you get used to each other.
Yeah.
You get used to each other, and like I think as the relationship goes on, the need to keep things alive, it gets more and more important, because you could easily just get too relaxed, and end up in a situation where there's no like romance left in not. I'm not saying old school like fucking rose petals, but I'm saying like the romantic side that isn't there anymore. Yeah. And that happens to a lot of people. That does happen to a lot of people. I know at least of 3 relationships that have broken down because of that one reason, and they still liked each other at the end, but there was like nothing there left. And I think this type of stuff is only adding to the problem. It's not helping the problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that you kind of got to knock it on the head. You got to kind of look at yourself and see whether you because you were looking elsewhere for a reason, or whether you were just doing it because you were like in need of the attention. And then that's how you address it, one way or the other. You don't just ignore it. Don't knock it on the head and then just think it's a problem that's going to go away.
But yeah, if you just like brush under the table because you've been caught, and then once everything's back to normal, you go back to it. That's fucking
Mate, yeah, that would be the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. If you sit down with your partner and you're honest and you say this is why, and you can both work at it together, it's better than just you sweeping it under the table for now and then you find it again. You're like, oh,
yeah, that'd be crazy, man.
Yeah. So she'll forgive you at some point. You got to do some groveling. You know what I mean? You've been caught out, and then and hopefully you can make yourself strong again. But good luck. I hope you have a good Christmas. Before I pass Jamie over to do the outro, I just want to say everyone have a good Christmas. Thank you for this year of messages and emails, and we've had some great stuff. And hopefully another year of the podcast will be better than it was now. Have a good Christmas. Enjoy your friends, your family, your presents. And pass over to Jamie.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Next year will be another Christmas-ish special because let's face it, we're not going to get any better at fucking unless we get a producer. There's going to be less organisation as the years go on. But yeah, Merry Christmas and have a good New Year as well. I'll probably see you on the next one, Dan.
More than likely, unless I can find someone to replace me, it'll be all right. All right, man. I'll see you later.